Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the Lum LaL show. I'm your host, Lau,
Yo, and it's your boy Pharaoh Lum.
and welcome to another injection of introspection.
Mm-hmm.
And today we have two very special guests. But I want to start off by introducing our first guest that reached out to us. I'm so honored
Yeah, I know.
to be able to add value to the things that you're doing right now. She is an amazing spoken word artist, the creator of a poetry event that I think is vital to the culture, poetry versus hip hop. But more importantly, a two-time Grammy nominated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this time she's nominated for an album called Civil Rights. The South Got Something to Say. Let me introduce y'all to the Queen Sheba.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for having me again. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your album titled, so the album was amazing.
We,
And before
oh,
I
y'all
even
listened
listened
to the
to,
whole thing?
I listened to the whole thing. I listened to it today. But the thing about it is, I the thing that stuck out to me first was the title, because I think that was a very important moment in hip hop when Andre 3000 was at that 1995 Source Awards, right? And he said the South got something to say. And so I wanted to ask you, what is it that you feel is so important for us to be able to listen to coming from the South?
So I was born in Detroit. I want to always make that clear, which is the North, but I've spent more than 30 years in the South, and I'm a biracial woman that was adopted to a German and Polish family. So I don't even have to tell you what that was like
Right. I was going to ask about that too.
growing up in Detroit. So, a shameless plug, I have a book that was published by a small press. It's available on Amazon. It's called From Foster Care to Fame. And my last name is Rem, R-E-M. So just put that in and it'll pop up. But anyway, so I did not learn much about my culture in this German Polish family living in Detroit. I did not live in the suburbs. I went to Detroit public schools. I went to Vital Elementary School. I went to Ludington Middle School. I went to Castech High School. And then I was put into a youth home when I was 15 years old. And I spent my my junior year at Wedgwood Acres in Grand Rapids, and then I graduated from Grand Rapids Central High School. So this is black on black on black on black on black on black on black.
Beautiful.
And that was just not my household. And when I came to the South, which was Virginia first, so I was in Virginia from 93 until 2005, so
Okay.
12 years. And that started my introspection, my learning, my self teaching, going and deep diving into the Black Panthers, into Elaine Brown, into Huey Newton, I was like, whoa, 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 this was not taught in my high school. And I just was like, and then when I was introduced to spoken word in 1998 at Old Dominion University, I was like, oh man, I cut off my perm so fast and showed up at Bank of America. Oh yeah.
Impactful.
Yeah.
That's the word of the day.
Oh man, I cut off my perm so fast. Went to Bank of America where I was a supervisor in collections recovery department. That's when you 90 days past due. We like, hello, this is Kim. Like, it's not, it's Bank of America. And and then I cut off my nails, cut off my perm, and started. First, I was bald because I cut my perm off, and then I grew my afro out. And Bank of America was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, Shorty. We're gonna fire you for something else, but really it's because you've become pro-black. And I was like, okay. So I met who is now Amanda Seals. She was Amanda Diva at the time when I started traveling from Norfolk to New York, going to Jimmy's Uptown, going to New Eurekans Poetry Cafe, going to the Cotton Club, going to I can't what's the other one, not Bar 13, that was in DC, just going up and down the East Coast, just going to Delaware, to Philly, going to where Voices in Power is now in Philly. We were at World Cafe where I opened for Marsha Ambrosia, for Jill Scott. I mean, I have been doing spoken word for 23 going on 24 years, and it has been an incredible ride. I've done everything from Essence Festival to travel to 9 countries. And this is just my story. There are poets who have done different, not less, different, not more. You know what I mean? It's comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I can't be like, oh, well, they did. I mean, I'm trying to get to South Africa like some of other poets have, and it's you have plans and God has plans. So you travel your journey, and this has been my incredible, amazing journey. So back in 2005, I moved to Atlanta, and I was in Norfolk, Virginia. This is before Katrina, but still in August of 2005. And me and my boyfriend at the time, Brian, shout out to Brian, you're still part of my story, homie. He wanted me to move to Greenbelt, Maryland, and settle down and be domesticated. I wasn't ready. I was, new into my poetry career. I was like, shit, gas is 99 cents. We were slanging CDs like crack. And that's the best way I can describe it. Because that was, you literally were paying your bills and doing math off of how many CDs you sold a night and how much paper you could steal from Kinko's to then go home and cut up and make your CDs on the way to a poetry slam. And we were, $10. And then I upped my CD. I was messing with my new producer poet, Talam AC. He's older than me. And he was like, nah, sell them jokers for 15 because you sell less CDs. You get the same amount of money. You still got product left over. What that sound like? Sounds like crack to me. So
it's a numbers game, right?
It's basically a numbers game. And so, and at the time, I was holding on to my little car that I purchased while I was at Bank of America. It got repossessed a year later. I had to, went through 17,000 burner phones. This shit was a struggle. And I'm a woman out there. Like it was real in the field. Like I don't want to sound like I'm sitting on a porch like, oh, this is what happened. But these fucking spoiled ass poets going viral that don't have to get on Greyhound.
Not
and
spoiled.
Yeah, talk. No, talk that talk. I feel that way in the hip hop community. I feel that way with these artists. Talk that talk.
Yeah.
And they just and I do these workshops, and they like, I don't need no workshop. I'm making money hand over.
I don't need no workshop. Artist development is real.
Artist development. Where's your CD? Where's your IRA? Where's your fucking savings? Where's your house? Where's your car? And they like, I'm just what? Let me tell you.
So they're positioning you like the old school spoken word artists who don't know.
And I'm popping and relevant just like they are. And it's not like I'm popping my collar. I'm like, this is years of work. Show me where you are in 23 years. Show me where you are when you didn't have artists
working at Bank of America.
Show me where you are in 23 years if people are still calling you and emailing you and saying, hey, come do my show. And then come do my show for whatever the amount is at the time, not the old school amount. And it's still work. I don't just sit at home like, oh, I hope somebody calls. No, I'm still online. And let me be very clear, also learning from them. So I'm learning from them plus using what I've learned. And I'm on the internet all day like, all right, who am I texting? Who am I calling? I'm doing, they're calling me asking for information for college gigs. Okay, we'll pay my consulting fee. Oh, you should give back. Give back to who? You weren't with me in the gym.
Right. And I wanted to bring that up because listening to your work, I very much get servant leader from you. And also with poetry versus hip hop, I think, I feel that you're providing opportunity for people to be seen, be heard, be developed. Like our second guest, I wanted to introduce you to real quick. So for our people that don't know, we have another guest that is a homegrown spoken word artist and an author, published books.
Books here.
Come on, books in the studio.
Books.
Yeah.
Published, author,
homegrown spoken word artist.
The Maya Wright.
Wait.
So I think that it's very important that people pay your price and pay your ticket because what you're doing is expansive and it's creating platforms. And I think that that's the only thing that we can do to invest in a culture right now is to create platforms. We need our own platform.
Yeah.
If I was a man, let's say still black.
If I
was a man, I wouldn't get the pushback that I get from these artists.
At all.
They would not be in my face. If I was a masculine presenting woman, I wouldn't
Okay.
get the pushback because my ex-partner was a masculine presenting woman and we did poetry versus hip hop together. I would say one thing, she would say the exact same thing, and it'd be like, oh, okay, I'm saying that's what's up. You so cool. If I was a white person, they
It'd
would
be
just
done.
they would just do it and not ask any questions and be grateful.
Yeah.
And you're a
But with
genius.
me, it's
Because how
they-
did you think of this concept?
Yeah,
But with
and
me-
you're a genius. And you're a genius.
But with
It's
me,
crazy.
it's like they steal it from me. You know, if
Right.
they steal it from me, they don't think it's real. They think, oh, it's just a business card, laptop business. No, Negroes, it's not. We are going on 10 years and people are still trying to steal our logos, our intellectual property, our show concepts. And I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, we were verses before verses was verses. And because that was started by a man, nobody questioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything. And I remember Angela Yee from Hot 97 interviewed me and my former partner. She passed away. Me and my former
I'm sorry to hear
partner.
that.
Give
Yeah.
thanks. And was like, what is it like running this business? And the first thing we both said is everybody thinks men run this and we're the face. We just thought of it one day. That's
But
it.
how does someone
Why does somebody
assume that the person that they see interacting with them is not the person that
Because they
like-
think we're just the host and the DJ. They don't-
that's because they never threw their own shit. Because if you throw your own stuff, you are the host, the DJ, you are the curator, you are the funder,
You're everything.
you are
the
Yeah.
accountant. I'm sitting there telling myself, man, I got to update my spreadsheets. I got to do taxes. I haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh, why you say that word? Are you
Oh.
cussing at me?
Right.
I was having a good day.
I have a small team, and I'm very humble and grateful that they want to work with
Right.
poetry versus hip hop. It's worth probably about $5 million if I was to
Beautiful.
sell it to
Clap it up for
360
that.
to.
Clap it up for that. Time.
5 M&Ms.
For that.
Ooh,
I want to say when I was listening to your
No,
album,
no.
the thing that caught me off was the rap elements of it. Like I wanted to say, how much MC Light, if any, did you listen to or are you aware of? Because you gave me crazy MC Light vibes, and that's like one of my favorite artists of all time.
I listened to
Oh.
MC Light from the time I knew she existed until we became friends in Denver, Colorado. But we're not friends no more because she cried about me. But I'm like, dang, MC Light, I want to work with you too, sister. You know, I wanted to DJ because her and Erykah Badu started DJing. So I started
Yeah.
DJing a little bit. I selector, not a DJ. I was definitely a selector.
Mm.
And I've definitely put down the board. I don't think I've DJ'd.
Some DJs aren't selectors, and they need
Yeah.
to be.
I-
Let's talk about it.
Hey,
Because who told you to play that?
I swear.
Who told you to play that? Who told you to skip through this? I'm
Like-
like, that mix was not clean.
What transition was that? So yeah.
Yeah.
I want people to love poetry versus hip hop, and I am speaking of growth and development. I don't like to use the word training. I am showing any artist that wants to how to host poetry versus hip hop, so I can be at home eating popcorn on the couch while they host the show and City Winery pay the check and I pay people. Like I don't want it to die with me. I don't
Right.
want it to die with me. I don't want it to be the end of something. And I am very soon going to pivot out of poetry versus hip hop because I do it all and it is exhausting. And I take it personal. And I take it personal when the show doesn't do well, when the artists aren't responding. I take it personal. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? What am I not saying? What am I not doing right?
Yeah.
What could I do more of? You know, how can I motivate? And let me tell you, I am very people weird.
What does
I don't
that
know.
mean?
Yeah.
That means
We live in a split society right now. There's either people who really lean into social media and then there's people who don't. And all of us are artists. Like, I'm allergic to the internet, y'all. Sheba, you talking about something, you be on the internet all day. I be looking at you, I be like, dang, I really wish I could get these thumbs to do that. Because
wait. I want to put a tab in that. You said I'm on the internet all day?
That's what you said. You said you be out, you be sending your stuff. I be like,
Oh. Let me amend that.
Okay.
Part of my small team is I have a social media manager and I have a content creator. So it is my job to capture the content. And then part of my small team is my content creator, then create
Okay.
content for the
That's a
ad.
business.
It is
Yeah.
a business.
It's
It
a
is a business.
business.
Now,
Yeah.
when I post my personal stuff, you can almost tell it's me. You know what I mean? Like Thanksgiving or
Mhm.
whatever. Like I'm out and about. Obviously,
Right.
if I'm in the picture, you know what I mean.
Okay.
Then,
Mhm.
but for my everyday social media, you have to have a you online.
Yeah.
You have
While
to.
you are living your
Yeah.
life.
And
I
that's
think
difficult.
That's
Go ahead,
difficult.
Mike. You
Yeah.
gonna say?
Say that.
I have trouble with the capturing. I have older parents. Okay. My dad's 73. All right. I like to put a record on a record player.
Yeah.
See me at my house, knock on my door, call the landline. So even
All the
capturing stuff,
landline. I love that.
I love
I
that.
want to argue about the memories with the people who was there. I'm like, you had on a pink shirt. It was a purple one. We don't know. I forgot to take a picture. I was taking
Yeah.
a selfie. The food was good. Nobody knows what it looks like. That's
Yeah.
how I live my life, and I need to get out of it because I'm too young to try to live like that. Like, it's
Mm,
really just not
Well,
productive.
Maya,
I don't
have
think you
an
need to get out of it.
You
Like,
don't need to get
okay,
out
It's
of
not
you want to
productive for
add
what I
social
wanna
media.
do.
You said
I say it's just not productive for what I
for
want to
what
do.
you want to do,
Yeah.
but it's also a life well lived. I don't take a lot of pictures either. My social media presence is pretty and the reason why is similar. But I also realize that I have less anxiety, less depression than a lot of people that I spend time around.
Hello.
Because I truly enjoy something. I don't need a picture of it all the time.
Yeah.
I might get a little picture when the sun is out and it's looking good, but that's about it. I don't need to do too
Yeah.
much.
I'm not
Ironically,
counting
I'm
likes.
horrible at it. I know it doesn't look like it, but I also am very because I don't want to look through my life through a camera.
To a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got a team.
So
Smart
violent.
people hire smart people.
There's a false sense of access that people have
Mhm.
because they're like, oh, I know you was just in Puerto Rico. I know this, I know that. There's a very specific reason. Like, I don't post my nieces and nephews on the internet.
Good.
Y'all know me as a poet. Stay in y'all poet lane. Don't come up to
Yeah.
me. It is not everybody's niece. Like, oh, how's my niece doing? Y'all don't leave my kids out of it. It's very weird how much access people think they deserve. Like, oh, you didn't reply. I sent you this article and I wanted your thoughts on it. I'm
No.
asleep.
Yeah. She said this is not everybody's niece, and I completely understand.
Yeah.
And I think that the sacredcy of what happens in your life and the social media sphere too often meet. You know what I mean? And like, for example, some things happen in people's personal life and romantic life that I don't need to know about.
Yeah.
And it don't even be them sharing it sometimes. It be the
Yeah.
people that don't like them, that got some information. And that's why I think that social media is good for business, but it's bad for life. It's
So,
good for business, but it's bad for life sometimes.
Yeah.
so how I try to handle social media is it's a lean towards business with a peppering of my personal life so people can relate. So
Nice.
that's important that people feel like they can do what you do or admire what you do so that they then support what you do. So I used to I used to do newsletters every week on Yahoo groups, and I've recently started doing newsletters again. Maya, do you get my newsletter? Yeah, so
I didn't get the newsletter.
No, I ain't gonna lose.
yeah, y'all got it. Yeah,
And if I
I
don't
got
get it,
your
you
email
finna
address.
text it. You finna
All
text
right.
it to me.
Yep.
I'm subscribed.
So now I've gotten back to doing newsletters. I've gotten back to doing what I like, which is writing.
Okay.
And so people will connect with your organic self. And my organic self is writing and putting up personal pictures of myself and then having my business side put the hey, come to the event, it's gonna be cool, it's gonna da 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 da. And a little mix of that is what is successful for me. And I don't look to have thousands and thousands of people in my audience. If it happens, that's great. Oh, I got news for y'all that I'm going to share with y'all first.
Uh-oh. World premiere.
Bam, bam, bam.
So,
Bam, bam, bam. There we go.
inshallah, God willing, that I win the Grammy February 2nd, I said that part of my acceptance speech, I was gonna be like, thank you, da 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 da. We only get 45 seconds, right? Because I was there last year. I watched everybody do it. They were like, you get 40 seconds, and if you don't get off, we're gonna cut your microphone. So in my 45 seconds, in my last 5 seconds, I'm gonna be like, oh, and I'd like to meet Snoop Dogg's agent, please, because he's every fucking where. Okay. So I love Snoop Dogg and whatever he is doing right now.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So Snoop Dogg retweeted our event.
Oh, it's lit.
Okay.
It's lit.
Shout out to Snoop.
September 8th in Atlanta, y'all. Snoop Dogg. I can't say he's gonna be there, but who knows where he's gonna show up? Is all I'm gonna say. I watch him.
And he's definitely be everywhere.
Man, shout out to Uncle Snoop, man.
Uncle Snoop. He
No,
is
for real.
everywhere.
Uncle Snoop.
He is everywhere.
And he's a big Steelers fan.
Yes.
I don't know how relevant that is.
It's always relevant. It's super relevant.
It's relevant.
That's the only thing to talk about.
It's relevant. This year at least.
This year at least.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did want to. Sorry, go ahead.
I love football as long as they're moving, but that whole like
Yeah.
the first down, I'm like,
But it's better than baseball because they
It
don't
is
be doing
better than
nothing. It's a lot of sitting
Just
around.
give me basketball.
give
Yeah,
me
yes.
basketball.
Basketball is yeah.
Yes.
Baseball
Yeah.
feels like
Get
when you
dunked
drive
on.
past a
That's what I'm
construction
talking
site and you looking, he's like, oh, they ain't doing nothing.
You can take a nap at a baseball room. For
Yeah.
me,
And
bro.
that-
Wake up and they're still playing.
They're still
Somebody's gonna be upset by this take, but listen, it's not for me. It's not for me.
Sorry,
But I did want to highlight what y'all got going on January 19th.
Mhm.
Very special
Mhm.
poetry versus hip hop. Y'all got 2 nights.
No, one night, two
One night.
One night.
One night.
1 night, 2 shows. 1 night, 2.
Yeah.
Ooh, 1 night, 2 shows.
Oh, y'all going crazy.
They going
One
crazy.
night, two
This is
shows.
what had happened. So I said, hey Maya, would you like to team up with me for the last one? I said, hey Maya, would you like to team up with me and be my Pittsburgh ambassador?
Dope.
And she was like, yeah. And so it was sold out like 4 days before the show started.
You were tripping.
Let's
You
go,
were
Pittsburgh ambassador.
I was like, they ain't coming to this.
Here we go.
tripping.
I was like, they
I know Pittsburgh. Everybody's like, if I buy my ticket too early, I'm gonna forget about the show. I'm gonna have a ticket. I ain't gonna be there.
it'll
know
be
I got
sold out
back
in empty seats.
the day
Yeah.
before because then I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah, swear. That is
And
true.
Pittsburgh is a strange place. Is
It
you
is.
cop
I was
it
like,
2
don't
months
worry
before,
about it.
or you
It was
cop
like
it 2
15
hours?
It was like 4 seats left. It was
Yep.
like 15 minutes before, 4 seats left.
Yep.
I said,
And then we oversold. And so we got on stage and we said, okay, if we come back in January, because this was the summertime, I said, we come back in January, Martin Luther King weekend, y'all gonna come out. And the whole room erupted. So we're gonna do, and it was oversold. It was oversold by like 30.
yeah.
So we said,
yeah, get to the
okay, and
bag.
this room holds 200 people. So we were like, all right, we're gonna do 2 shows. So
Beautiful.
this coming January 19th, it is Martin Luther King weekend. We're doing a special Blackity Black. We proud to be black. Everybody black in Pittsburgh, come out black. Football
to.
team, come out. Y'all gonna be on break, getting ready for the Super Bowl. See, I'm putting it on y'all. I'm putting it on y'all.
See, and Snoop
Yeah,
gonna be
okay.
there because they
Glorilla gonna be there.
And Snoop is gonna be
Flo,
there.
Snoop, Tyler.
You know what I mean?
Tyler, the creator, is gonna be there. You know.
We're gonna be
Well-
celebrating that win.
Hello.
So I'm putting it in the air.
Might as well throw them on the flyer. Hey,
Yeah. Throw him on the fly.
Come roll up.
Oh, for sure.
you feel me?
You got to. He have to.
Next level. So I think that
3 weeks before the Grammys, and so we're gonna be celebrating the pre-win. You
absolutely.
know, and I'm gonna talk
Definitely.
about that a little bit with Maya. But to finish this thought, so Sunday, January 19th, it is Martin Luther King weekend. Nobody has to go to work the next
Mhm.
day on Monday. So we do have 2 shows. We have a show that starts at 6:30. It'll go to 8:30, and then we have a show that starts at 10 p.m. and that will go to 11:30. And the late show is going to be a little bit spicier than the early show. That's all I got to say. But it is poetry versus hip hop,
A
and
little
we
bit
do have
spicier.
A little spice,
A little
okay? You know?
I can handle spice.
I like a little spice. I'm a spice type of guy. I like a
We talking red hot spice, or we
What kind of
talking about
spice you
like
top?
what we talking?
Red hot
Habanero
I
spice?
put
Like
that shit on everything.
okay,
Red
there.
hot spice could be. So Maya is our star feature, and she's gonna co-host with me. So that's gonna be
Nice.
super
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
And then for the first show musical guest, we have the lady. What's her name?
Claire Kent.
Claire Kent. Yes, we
Yeah.
have Claire Kemp. She's our musical feature for the first show, for the dinner show, for the 18 and up. And y'all come out. You know, this is great. Poetry versus hip hop, bringing college students, everybody, whatever. Everybody's coming back in for school. Y'all about to start school on Tuesday again, breaks over. And then the 10 p.m. show.
We got Cam Chambers.
Clown.
That's my boy.
Yes. And then it's gonna be a little bit spicier. It will be Poetry versus hip hop again. So we are expecting to sell out. And I believe the tickets are up. Hold on, let me look. Hold on real quick. I think the tickets are already up. Hold on.
Yeah, that's NBM show. We in there.
And so let's see, Pittsburgh. Maya, who is on your poetry and your hip hop teams?
We have coming out Shiloh, Mike Small, Orlando Watson, and
Okay.
Bonnie Diaria. That's the
Nice.
poet side. Okay?
Okay.
On the hip hop side, we got Brother Man. We have
Nice.
Linwood. We
Okay.
have the Dapster. And we
Nice.
have Ariana.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we know a lot of them.
You got
I
a
know.
nice lineup.
Yeah,
We just
very
had Yari
familiar with
Money
that
on the
lineup.
show last episode,
Okay.
talking about her album.
So I just gave y'all
Oh,
the
I
ticket.
inverted her name. Please.
No, it's all good.
It's okay.
It's all
I
good.
inverted it. My bad. My bad.
Blame my head, not my heart.
Yes.
So yes, the tickets are up. Let's see if we sold any. Hold on, let me click on them. Let me click on them. Oh, and what's the DJ's name?
Oh, Monty Baya.
Oh, okay. You got Money DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
DJ for both sets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, dope.
Okay, it looks like we sold a couple for what is this? The 6:30 show? This is the 6:30 show. We've sold a few for that already, and we ain't even started pushing yet. This one
Whew.
is that.
We're in
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. This one starts at 6 p.m. I'm sorry. They said 6 p.m. They was like, we getting y'all out of here. Okay.
Right.
And this
We
one
go home
starts
at some point.
right. And this one is at 9:30. Oh, looks like we've sold a couple of these too.
Okay.
Listen, you about to sell a couple more. I gotta get in there.
Hello. All right.
Poetry versus hip hop, January 19th. 2 shows, 2 musical acts,
One day.
Yeah.
1 day.
One day.
And we celebrating blackness. We celebrating culture,
Yeah, yeah.
celebrating creativity, celebrating hip hop, celebrating spoken word, because they are one and the same, but also they're twins. It's giving Ibeji.
Yes.
It's
They're
giving
brother
the
and sister. They're
multiplicity.
brother and sister.
They are brother
Rap
and
is
sister.
rhythm and poetry.
Hello.
It gotta be. It
Yeah.
ain't nothing
So-
more than, and that's what spirit is. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Really appreciate y'all for adding value and creating space for people to express.
Yeah.
In a creative way too, because sometimes the methods of expression that we're used to are in themselves played out, and so people tend to ignore them. You know, so I think that's something fresh and creative like this. Even though it's 10 years in, it's still fresh and creative, and I think that says something. That says something
Because
very loudly.
I rely on my knowledge of social media, marketing, promotions. I stay up to date with the new apps. The only thing I'm not on is Snapchat. I just can't. I just can't with Snapchat.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't think there's a purpose for. I think Snapchat is just for them. I
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. You can go and say it if you want to. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna listen.
I
I
It's
know
for them
it's for.
people.
I think
It's for them
Snapchat
people.
and OnlyFans are brother and sister.
Same thing.
They
yeah.
brother and sister.
Snapchat
They brother
did
and
not
sister.
start out that way. Let's be
Snapchat.
clear. Snapchat
No.
did
I don't know. You know, right? It didn't start off that way.
When I was young, and so
Okay.
I'm an innocent human. So I was never snapping nothing crazy.
Right.
Snapchat is where I have like my friends, and that's where I put my nieces and nephews sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's wholesome.
nothing,
And that's
That's
wholesome.
definitely
crazy on my
wholesome.
snap.
Yeah, that's wholesome. I think that Snapchat for me is very much so like for what? I don't know, like for what? Like why
Yeah.
we got these disappearing? And I get it now. Instagram has Instagram stories now because they wanted to compete with Snapchat
Yeah,
and stuff.
sure.
But when Snapchat first came out, it was like this can't be for nothing good. That's just what was on my
For
mind.
nothing. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's interesting. It could go either way, but you know, you know that MySpace actually started off for dancers.
MySpace.
Yeah, I heard that.
MySpace
Math
started
space.
dancers.
Dancer. Oh, you said dancers.
Dancers.
Oh,
It started for
who
dancers.
knew?
And
Who
it
would have
ended
thunk it?
up for bands and artists.
Listen, I know
That's so
old
crazy.
MySpace. Listen,
Because
I
when you
want my
think
MySpace
about
back.
it-
I ain't gonna hold you. I wanna put people in my top 5.
my top. I was about to say my top 10
Yeah,
was
my top-
crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
But now we got a secret top called close friends.
Close friends.
Close
You know what I
friends.
mean?
I
Or
want
you
But
watch
no.
it
it
on
gotta
the
be on
channel.
display.
You
Use
can
my
like
MySpace was like your room. You walked in, it was decorated. It
Yeah,
had
swear to
music
God.
playing.
Yeah, the song playing.
The only thing you couldn't do
Yeah.
was burn incense. That's the only
Swear
thing
to
you couldn't
God.
do.
Swear to God.
And people was under
Yeah.
there like, own this pic.
Exactly. Like,
Definitely own this thing. I had 2 girls arguing about being on my top 5 one time. I thought I was the man. I was like, oh,
I'm
That's
that
the only
guy.
time I felt like I was good at the internet. MySpace,
Mhm.
because I had to sneak and get on anyway. I wasn't supposed to have a MySpace profile. And I
my
went
God.
there, had to get my little 30
you.
minutes in.
That's how I promoted my like 4th album. That's so funny. How old
Mhm.
were you? 15.
on
Nice.
MySpace.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember how old.
16.
I know that you was a people pleaser if you had a top 13 though. You was a people pleaser if you had a top 13. No, cut that down.
Top
You
13.
need a top 8 as the max.
Listen, it's top
Yeah.
4 a lot of the time.
First of all, I got
I think I was
OCD.
12.
Mine was 8 or 5. Like that was
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, that was
That's it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Quick little one too.
And then
Yeah.
people would DM you like, oh, can I be in it next week?
Mm-mm.
Next week.
Like,
No.
Yeah, and that's an early shoot your shot too.
Sold spaces. I should have sold
Facts.
spaces for a while.
yeah,
I
you
didn't even
definitely
think
should
about
have.
that. I should
Yeah,
have.
if it would have been around, people
Bring back
definitely
MySpace,
would have been
man.
selling spaces.
Bring back my space.
Bring
I'm
back
about to go see if I
MySpace.
can log into my old account.
Who made that? Tom? Shout out to Tom.
Tom was Facebook.
That's Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg, he lied to us because I thought Tom made Facebook.
No,
Tom was on everybody.
Tom was
MySpace.
No, Tom
Tom
was.
was
Yeah, Mark.
MySpace.
Yeah, Tom was
You had to
MySpace.
create
MySpace. Tom.
Damn.
Remember, like, if you delete Tom, he's gonna delete your account.
Yeah, they used to always say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom was your first friend
Yeah, shout out to Tom, man.
watching us.
At least he was. Like, I'm
Gathering our fucking data for what?
He said, how do I do this again?
Right, like we
Where's
showed
Tom
up.
at
Oh,
now?
God.
Somebody throw up a picture of Tom.
I heard he's a photographer or something, taking nature pictures. Last time I checked,
He's
that's what I'm saying.
paid. Wherever he at, he got that paper.
I'm
Swear.
about to ask ChatGPT. Where
Yeah. Come to Poetry versus Hip Hop, Tom. Come on out.
Come on out,
You're
Tom.
welcome.
Don't you remember your friends?
Yeah.
Type, you know
No,
what I
I
mean?
was-
Don't, you don't know me now.
Forgot about his friends.
Have me on there downloading HTML so I can change the background.
Swear to
and,
God.
We was coding.
We was
Okay.
coding.
Anderson.
We was coding for
We were
real.
coding.
That's interesting. We was really
Oh,
coding
you're
back in the day.
right. He resides in Hawaii and frequently shares his stunning photographs from various global destinations
That's all I seen. Swear.
on his
My boy.
Instagram account.
A lot of nice pictures. Yeah, swear. I'm like, he must be a photographer now. I got curious one day. I
Man,
was like, all right, well,
that's interesting.
that's
That's
cool.
hilarious.
Shit.
Okay,
Man.
can I talk about something else interesting?
Please.
So I don't know how Maya became my mentee. I don't know if it was me or her that somehow it happened, but I am appreciative of it. So Maya submitted an album for the Grammys this year called Streetlights, and it was an awesome album. Shout out to what's his name, who's in the show too, right?
Brother Man's
Brother
Brother
Man
Studios.
produced the album,
Beautiful.
and
Shout out to Brother Man. We know.
shout out to Brother Mans. He's a dope artist, producer, and he helped Maya put together an album. And it was up for Grammy consideration. She fortunately didn't make the nominees. And then the reason I say fortunately, I say fortunately because I think that it gives you a lot of room to grow, and then you have me to walk you through this whole next year to see how it goes, like firsthand. Plus, and then we'll just walk you right into nomination next year.
Right.
All you got to do,
It's a learning.
it is,
It's a
it
learning
is.
process.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I did not get nominated on my first, second, third try at all. It was my fourth and my fifth try, and I am very grateful to be back-to-back nominated. I am very humbled and honored to be the first woman back-to-back nominated in our category. And I'm extremely humbled, grateful, and blown back that I'm the only poet from Atlanta to be nominated in this category ever.
Wow.
So I really appreciate it. I had about 5 producers. So shout out to everybody on the album. We could save that for the comment section. But what is really important when y'all see this particular podcast, I'm not sure when it's going to air, but between December 13th and January 3rd is the final round of voting for the winners of every category. And I cannot tell you who to vote for, but I can say please consider, if you are a voting member, going to the spoken word category, listening to all 5 of the albums, and then voting how you see appropriately. And of course, I'm going to say please consider checking out my album, Civil Rights, The South Got Something to Say, available on all streaming platforms. And I'm very excited to present this collection of work. I learned a lot from when I was in LA. Last year, the feedback that I got for my album was it's a great spoken word album, but we can't play anything on the radio. It's too long and it wasn't formatted properly for radio, and I didn't want to lose myself, and I definitely always want to represent spoken word. I've always represented spoken word for the last 23 years. I've always focused my life on spoken word for the last 23 years. And so I took my poems and I created 4 that are in song format that can be played as songs on the radio, and added singers and production, and it's extremely close to my heart. And then I dropped those singles over the summer, and I followed the format of Megan Thee Stallion, of Cardi B, of Glorilla, of Tyler the Creator, of Kendrick Lamar, of whoever else dropped singles this summer, followed their format. And because typically as spoken word artists, we just drop the album and be like, all right, listen to the whole thing. But this time I was able to build up a lot of buzz and a lot. And we even did an album for, I mean, I'm sorry, we even did a video, music video for the single Killer Mike, MIC. And I dedicated it to Killer Mike, the hip hop artist, because I was in the room when he got all 3 of the hip hop awards. And I was like, oh my God, you're from Atlanta. You're from Atlanta. So I ran out to the lobby to meet him. He doesn't know me, and I don't know him. I've just seen him around Atlanta. And I was like, I want to meet him. Maybe we can work together. But then he got arrested. So it's like,
Yeah, I heard about that.
You did say you're from Atlanta.
yeah. I was like, well, where did he go? And they were like, well, he's not available right now. I was like, oh my God. But so, I hope to be able to meet Killer Mike, and I hope he comes out to my For Your Consideration party this Sunday in Atlanta. Beautiful. And we had budget cuts in the Atlanta chapter, so we're not having a Grammy nominee party. And I was like, shit, well, let me throw my own then. And so I'm inviting all nominees from all over the country. Y'all are more than welcome to come to our party December 8th at City Winery. It is not an official Grammy party. I'm just throwing my own. Okay. So, so
as you should.
Hello. So Maya, we are going to get you, Brother Mans, and whoever else you want to work with ready for next year. And you are extremely talented, and I cannot wait to see your next project. And this project, if y'all haven't heard Maya writes Streetlights, it is heart-wrenching, it is emotional, it is introspective, and it is celebratory of Black men everywhere.
Beautiful. And that's rare. So yeah. Shout out to you for doing that. And just I feel like I'm inspired, and I think that's the most important thing for me when I do a pod is if I interact with people that inspire me to finish work. Because me and Lum have been making music. We've been recording music together since we were about 15. And it's truly a therapeutic passion. It's a deep passion that extends past any recognition, but I think it's now time to start that level of achievement, if that makes sense.
And paying it forward. That's one thing I really admire about everything you were saying, Sheba, definitely. As far as paying everything forward and your willingness to be open to younger artists and people that may one day or even currently are same in your or is in your lane. To me, it just shows the love that you have for the art and the culture and not always thinking about self, thinking about beyond yourself. So I really, really appreciate that and everything you were saying. For sure.
Give thanks. You know who I learned that from? Not that we're friends, but just me watching and observing. Jay-Z.
Oh
Jay-Z?
wow.
Oh wow. And it's
Think about-
Sagittarius season.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's my favorite rapper.
Sagittarius
It is
season.
mine too. I don't give a shit what y'all. I
I
love
don't know what
Jay-Z.
everybody talking about. Yeah, I don't even know how it's an argument. Don't even get me started.
I only know two
Don't
people.
even get me
Two
started.
people whose favorite rapper is Jay-Z. Well, three now.
The three. Let me tell you something. Jay-Z made and this is a compliment. So I know how y'all be twisting shit. Jay-Z,
Not y'all. We gonna
I mean, I'm talking to
Yeah.
the y'all.
Mm-hmm. Y'all out there.
Them
Y'all
y'alls do be twisting
out
stuff.
there. Jay-Z. And let me start off by saying I cannot rap. I suck at rapping. But Jay-Z makes it seem effortless
Mm-hmm.
for him. Not that I could just sit down and do it.
Mhm.
He is geniusly talented.
Yes, and it's probably got better over
sure.
time, which to me
If
is
I
shocking.
had a wish, and I could not wish for more wishes, I would wish to have a 24-hour conversation with him, Dr. Dre, and Missy Elliott in a restaurant or locked room somewhere for 24 hours and have a chef feed us and make sure that we didn't like become dehydrated or anything. And I would just ask them a million questions. And then I'd be like, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
And
And
I think that's wisdom is something that you only can get from tapping in, what they call a fellowship.
Yeah.
Wisdom only comes from fellowshipping.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be a dope combo.
I have a song on last year's album called Dreams and Nightmares 2, because I always thought that Meek Mills was my baby daddy, but he ain't. So
We ain't
I
gonna
don't
make no
know nothing
jokes.
about Meek Mills either. Dreams and Nightmares is the shit. So
Yeah.
I wrote out Dreams and Nightmares as it is. And then under each line that he has, I wrote my line as a poet, right? So I like double spaced it and wrote my version.
That's
And
hard.
give thanks. I learned it in a writing workshop. And
That's hard.
I have a line in there that says, and these poets are hating on me instead of learning from me. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Mhm.
Like, we need to be working together because there's no other genre like ours.
Literally.
There's no other network like ours. I can call somebody in London, Australia, and Africa and be like, I'm on the way.
That's true. And there's not enough celebrated spaces for the genre. There are celebrated spaces, but they're not well known in the way that I think that they should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think poetry shows up in particularly this city in a very strong way, like on like every 8 years or something like that. It's like a cycle, and then it kind of like it shows up very strong, and then the interest dwindles, or maybe it's the platforms dwindle, the rooms in which people can do these events start to kind of disappear. And I think that it needs a home. And I'm glad that City Winery is working with you all over the country. That's beautiful. We need more venues that are dedicated to having spoken word be a part of its repertoire.
Mhm.
And we just
When
don't have
you
enough of it.
decide that you are going to be an advocate, and we're just talking about spoken word. So for spoken word, it is a selfless and thankless act.
Hello.
You have to do it knowing it's for the greater good.
Mm.
Because I love poetry. I love sitting in the front listening to poetry. I love listening to poets who are virgins to veterans and everyone in between. But you have to be married to it when you start a room. And you have to do it if there's one or 1,000. And not make fun of the room when there's one, because it's not their fault. It is our effort or lack of effort that, or the wind or the whatever that gets the people there. And it's rough. And partner with amazing people. Somebody asked me, do I have any haters? And I was like, absolutely not. I don't know what you're talking about. Because the only way you have haters is if you acknowledge them.
Mm.
And I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I go where I'm loved. I go where I love people. And I try to be my best self, and I learn and grow all the time and make organic relationships. And when you make organic relationships, people will show up for you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Mhm. For
There's
sure.
a book by John Maxwell called "Everyone Communicates, but Few Connect."
Mm.
And it's very factual
Yeah.
that people know
Oh,
how
like, let
to
me write that down.
say
Oh, where
things.
we at?
They know how to talk, but they're not always sure how to connect with the individual. And in truth, the only way that you can connect to someone is making them aware that on some level you care about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you can connect to someone, right? When someone understands that you care about them, even through their own frustration, maybe aimed at you, then they start to become aware that there's something valuable in your interaction that they should pay attention to.
Here's a very 101 basic way to start learning that connection communication is to always agree with whatever they say, even if it's negative. But if it's a negative, then you pivot. So just say anything, just whatever. Just say, make up anything. To me.
You don't care about writing. You like the power that comes with it.
Maya, you are absolutely right. I do love the power that comes with being on stage and standing in front of 1 or 1,000 people and having them laugh and cry and eat out of your hands. It's because I take so much time and take so much effort in honing my craft for writing.
And so you just readdressed the not liking writing, but leaned into the power aspect to completely own that negative and turn it into a positive in that. And if somebody keep hating after that, then God bless you.
Y'all trying hard.
You
Y'all
put in
y'all brought
effort.
a shovel. Y'all brought
Yeah.
a shovel.
You
That's
dig it.
that's a 101. Just always agree. Whatever they say, always agree. And if it's negative, then just pivot. You know what I mean? And if it's not, but still agree and just be like, there's a million examples of that. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever, and you say, oh, I thank you. I agree. Like writing is super difficult. Man, that's why I have to take a 5-hour energy every day. And then you add a little joke or some charisma, and then smiling disarms people. And then they're like, oh shit, they're human. I cannot hate anymore. There's
That's
there's
true.
nothing. I'm
That's
a
true.
human being. There was a young lady. I'm gonna tell you a real story. Young lady this year, amazing poet, famous poet.
Mm.
I respect and love her a lot. She's not from my city, and she had some feedback for me based on poetry versus hip hop. The feedback was given harshly, and it wasn't that she was wrong. It was just how it was given, and it was something I had never done before and hadn't considered. And so initially, I was reactionary. Initially I was like, whoa, and then I was like, woo, 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 woo. And so I was like, hold on, Sheba, do your own teaching, your own learning, right? And I circled back. Oh, I hate when people say circle back. So I went back and I said, you're right. I had never considered that such and such and blah, blah, blah. Going forward, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to implement that based on your suggestion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did she respond to that?
A couple months later, I asked her to be in the show, and she's going to be in it. It's coming up.
Nice.
So yeah. And I told her, I was like, hey, you never have to have the gloves on with me. I'm a human being. I'm always open to feedback, and if you have feedback, then just deliver it with a smile and a suggestion. Don't come to me with a problem without a solution, though.
And that's a master class. That's a master class because people don't know how to receive feedback that's harsh. People don't know how to receive feedback that's loving. Like loving feedback be turning people into monsters.
You know how to give but can't receive love.
Yeah.
Black people.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
You know how to love on each other.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we don't feel like we're deserving of it in return. We're deserving, Black people.
No facts. Sometimes I'll have an epiphany or just have a download and I do a voice note, right? And recently I did one about how correcting people makes them offended in all manners, right? When you correct someone, it can be the pronunciation of your name. We have to be mindful about the tone that we take in correcting someone, because to be corrected for most people is the biggest offense in life. It's like, what do you mean what I'm doing is not right? Or they think that their entire being is out of order and
Yeah.
and incorrect, and everything about
Yeah.
them. They take it so personally. And so when correcting
It's a
people, you
very
have to be
scary mentality to have that though, because like people be so focused on feeling like they're correct, they rather feel correct than actually be right or
Yeah.
actually be corrected. So you're just rocking around with false information all the time just so you can feel correct. Because in reality, if you're that offended by it, are you really hearing what somebody had to say to you?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, you're not.
Offense is the biggest thing that inhibits connection. It stops people from being able to build bridges, because you're busy trying to feel justice, the sense of justice that's not really there. You like, you want some justice for your feelings.
That's
I wanna add to
exactly what
that.
happened with the young lady giving me the feedback. At first, I admitted I was reactionary. I was like, "Don't tell me how to run my business." I mean, I didn't say that to her, but in my mind, like, "Don't tell me how I've been doing this." And I was like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, maybe somebody has some feedback that's valid, Sheba. Because you've been doing the same thing for 10 years. Who says it's not time for new legislation?"
Yeah, so I want to add to that. I think it's offense, but paired with embarrassment. Because, like you said,
That
you
part.
were offended, but you didn't allow your ego not to go back and revisit it. So when you're offended, and then you're like, it's going to be embarrassing for me to go back, because sometimes people change, but then they change for the moving forward. And it would be a situation where, like, Shiva, if you never invited them into the show, it's like, oh, I'm gonna take what you said, but I'm never gonna allow you to know that you're right. So that messes up the connection that you have
That's
with that.
resentment. And I don't have time for that.
And that's crazy.
And there's a
Even
lot of
Bitterness and anger, and I don't have time for anger. YOLO.
I'm thankful that through my trials and tribulations, through my development, through the shoulders that I've bumped and rubbed, that I've picked up on the ability to be corrected and to be coached and to be criticized. I'm a critic. I think one of my closest friends said, "You're very critical," and I'm like, "Damn, I kind of
You
am."
gotta be. I mean, I
Poets
think
are
that's kind of how you
judgmental.
was
We are
brought up, too.
judgmental. Poets are judgmental because we write judgment in our poems all the time. It doesn't matter what it's about. It could be about dragons. Be like, them dragons ain't shit, and this is why.
No, yeah.
Them dragons ain't shit.
Them dragons
Like, no,
ain't
no, no.
shit.
No, you're right.
Dragons ain't shit.
I think the same for artists, though. What artist isn't judgmental? What artist
course.
is not
That's our
You're gonna be
opinion.
judgmental.
receiving stimuli,
Yeah.
interpreting it, perceiving it, and then displaying it in the way in which we see it? Like, that is
Yeah,
judgment.
but some people are just judgmental by trade. Like my dad was judgmental when I was younger. He'd be like, "Yo, see that dude over there? Yeah, he's a fucking bum. Don't ever be like that." Oh, okay, cool. Like I get it. Like, he's a bum.
He's a
Over
bum?
there.
Okay.
All right, great.
Now you never
Like,
wear them shoes. You don't buy that clothing brand.
Yeah, like,
Where's your so 101, the 101 of receiving feedback is, try not to be reactionary. So I have a membership virtual writing workshop, and the way that we give feedback is in question format instead of direct format. And I
like
learned
that.
this in grad school. I did not make this up. So if there's something that we like about your poem, then we say, "Oh, Pharaoh, I really like that, blah 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 blah." But if there's something that we think could change, we'd be like, "Would you consider, or have you thought of, or what about?" Because that way, as a question, we're not saying it should or shouldn't be that way. We're just asking you to think about it, and then you get to make your own decision. And then, as the receiver of that feedback in the workshop, you do not get to respond. Ever. You don't get to explain. You don't get to respond. If you feel like you should change it, you go home, change it, write it, bring it back the next week. If you don't, it's like it stays the same. Thank you, Maya. I appreciate that. And then 101 for giving feedback to people in regular life or poetry life is use the empathy sandwich that I learned at Bank of America. Shout out to Bank of America. Is I like, what about this? I like. So I love your hat. That shirt could be different. I love your shoes. It's just an empathy thing.
Oreo.
Oreo.
And that makes that person instantly more interested in changing the shirt. Like, what shirt do you think? Like, it's like
Exactly.
Instantly.
More than halfway put together.
Yeah. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Okay.
A couple things to work on.
Help me.
Right.
Help me figure it out.
I hope you ain't
Wow.
my only one.
Right. Oh, I got one in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know what I mean? It makes people explore their options when they know that something is appreciated. That's fact.
And that's what all art is. It's beauty is in beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's all subjective. It's all what we like. It's all what we love. I just encourage writers to, especially poets, to always offer a solution within your work. And it doesn't matter what the solution is, even if the solution is just for you. That way, people listening to your work where it resonates, they can say, "Oh, I never thought of that. Let me consider doing that." Right. So I hope y'all come out January 19th.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To Poetry vs. Hip Hop. Everybody that's listening to this, Poetry vs. Hip Hop, Pittsburgh, Martin Luther King weekend. If you are a Grammy voting member, the final round of voting for all categories is December 13th to January 3rd. And I ask that you consider coming on over to the spoken word poetry category, which ironically is in the same category, same field. They know what I'm talking about. It's in the same field as the hip hop category. So you actually don't have to spend any extra votes. They know what I'm talking about. It's a long story. But anyway, so we only get
to the winning side. Come to the winning side while you still can.
Come to the winning side.
They basically, I mean, voters only get a certain amount of votes. People think that we can vote on everything. We cannot really have
it's very limited.
It is limited. So spoken word and hip hop are in the same field. So come on over to our category, check us out. And I ask that you consider listening to Civil Rights. The South got something to say. And please do not think it is just subjected to just the South. It is about voices everywhere.
Period. Stream Street Lights by Maya Wright. Tap into the Lum LaL show.
Can I ask y'all one question?
Yes.
What was your favorite track on Civil Rights? And then we're going to shout out Maya all over again because I know.
Blackberry Molasses.
I was listening to it. Let me check. It's literally just on my phone.
That's the second one. I don't know.
Blackberry Molasses.
Blackberry. Okay, number 2 is for future reference.
For future reference.
For future reference, but when Blackberry Molasses came on, I said, well.
Blackberry Molasses. You know what?
First date. But go ahead.
First date.
Oh, first date with Malcolm Jamal Warner.
So I'm gonna re-listen because I think spoken word hits me like a Kendrick album. You need to like listen to it maybe 3 times. And sometimes there's that thing in there that you was like, damn, this is me. Because that's what I listen to music for. I've listened to music to find myself. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, like, and that thing that hits you, it's like, damn, that's me. Or like that, I can see that, you know what I mean? And I just appreciate the album so much because I think that is very expansive, but it incorporates music and spoken word in an effortless way. Yeah. Like I don't have to listen to it and be like, okay, and now I gotta get ready to listen to poetry. Yeah. It's like, no, it's still music, it's still a body of work. Like I don't have to change my frame of reference to listen to it. And that's what I really appreciate about the album for sure.
Yeah.
So I have a question. How did you feel about track number 4, which is Side Chick Chronicles, which is the record playing and then that long poem?
So I felt like at the long poem part, that is when I started to feel like I'm listening to poetry, but it wasn't a bad vibe. It felt warm. It felt like I don't know how to describe it. This is the time in which I focus on what I'm listening to and I'm not just jamming. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, sometimes you're just like, I'm jamming, I'm listening, like, oh, this is hitting. But like when I come on, it's like, okay, I want to listen. I don't want to be driving. I don't want to be like doing anything and be double-minded. Like when that poetry came on, for me, it was like, all right, let me tap in. And I just got out the shower when I was like, I was listening, and I noticed like, damn, I ain't dry off yet. So I'm enjoying it.
Listening.
No, I feel like that was super dope. I think that I was sleeping on poetry in music. I love poetry. I never got a lot of poetry and music. D.R. Imani's album was the first one that I really got. And I hadn't listened to a lot of poetry and music.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for opening up my lens to like how that can be a part of my new palette, my new diet.
Yeah.
Listen
I'm
to
getting chilled. Oh my God. Thank
And that
you
was a great
so
album as well.
much.
it was.
Oh my God. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, I want to say that we will be there
Yeah.
January 19th.
Yep, we will.
We'll pop out. And also we want to add more value. So we'll be in contact about what else we can do to add value to what you're doing, what you're working on. Especially as you're thinking about expanding and doing new things and having people like Maya take the reins on poetry versus
Please, Maya.
hip hop. And I just want to know how we can just help that along and push that with our platform and the other things that we're doing as well.
Give thanks. I'm just gonna drop this because I have not started the logistics yet, but in my mind and dates we have. This is our 10-year anniversary coming up the first weekend of October 2025, and so I will be having. I've had a couple festivals in the past, but it's been more than 10 years since I've thrown a festival, and so I'm going to be throwing a poetry versus hip hop festival in Atlanta, which will include a variety of hosts. So please check out our website.
When are you thinking? Are you not?
It's the first weekend of it. It is going to be the first weekend of October for sure.
Okay, bet. So I mean, I went to Clark Atlanta, so I'll be there for homecoming anyway.
Hey, that's
we're gonna
good.
be in there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah.
Where I used to teach at. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So you never.
So yeah, y'all keep that on your radar. I would love to have y'all down in podcast capacity during
Love it.
the, yeah.
That'd be dope.
Love it.
And Maya's
Hey.
gonna
Always love
segment.
Atlanta.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Let's do it. So
Okay.
thank y'all again for coming out. Just a quick reminder: Street Lights, Maya Wright, Civil Rights. The South got something to say by Queen Sheba. Make sure you tap in. Make sure that you tap in.
Please.
Make sure that you tap in. Poetry versus Hip Hop, January 19th. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in
Thank you
to
so
Lum
much,
LaL
Lum
Show.
LaL.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Black women mean business. If y'all didn't know.
Period. Black women mean business. Period.